Scientists at the University of Queensland just grew fully functional human skin in a lab, complete with blood vessels, hair follicles, and immune cells. Meanwhile, Netflix is opening physical locations where you can experience Stranger Things and Squid Game in real life. And Silicon Valley executives are pooling over $100 million to influence the 2026 elections around AI policy. Welcome to a world where the boundaries between digital and physical, artificial and biological, virtual and real are completely dissolving. I've been covering emerging technology for years, but what's happening right now feels different. We're not just seeing incremental improvements, we're witnessing the convergence of biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and digital entertainment in ways that will fundamentally change how we live, work, and even what it means to be human. Let's start with Netflix houses, because this represents something bigger than just a streaming company opening theme parks. Netflix is launching their first permanent physical locations in Philadelphia on November 12th and Dallas on December 11th. These aren't traditional theme parks, they're calling them interactive experience centers. You'll be able to play arcade games from popular shows, experience immersive mini-golf themed around Netflix series, and use VR to interact with characters from Stranger Things and Squid Game. What caught my attention is that the content will be frequently updated to reflect new and popular series. They're treating physical spaces like software, constantly updating and iterating based on what's trending on the platform. A larger complex exceeding 100,000 square meters is planned for Las Vegas in 2027, which suggests Netflix is serious about this physical expansion strategy. Now, I'm honestly a bit skeptical about the long-term viability of this concept. Physical locations require massive upfront investment, ongoing operational costs, and can't pivot as quickly as digital content. Disney has decades of experience in physical entertainment and still struggles with profitability on some attractions. But Netflix might be onto something bigger. As digital experiences become increasingly common, physical experiences become more valuable and memorable. They're essentially creating real-world content that extends their intellectual property beyond screens. While Netflix is building physical experiences, Silicon Valley is mobilizing politically like never before. Top executives, entrepreneurs, and fund managers are forming a political action committee called Leading the Future with over $100 million in funding. Their goal is to influence the 2026 midterm elections, which they're calling the first AI elections. They're targeting key states for AI policy like New York, California, Illinois, and Ohio. The primary objective is preventing heavy regulations on artificial intelligence similar to those in the European Union, which they argue would kill innovation. They plan to financially support or oppose candidates based on their positions on AI regulation. Here's where I have mixed feelings about this development. On one hand, innovation does require regulatory clarity and reasonable oversight rather than restrictive rules that stifle development. The EU's approach to AI regulation has been criticized for being overly broad and potentially hampering technological progress. On the other hand, a $100 million fund dominated by large tech companies could create an unbalanced influence on policy that benefits big players at the expense of smaller companies and public interest. The source suggests this fund should include small startups, non-governmental organizations, and public interest groups to prevent it from solely benefiting large players. That seems wise. AI policy is too important to be shaped exclusively by those who profit most from unregulated development. Speaking of AI innovation, researchers at UCLA, led by Aydoğan Özcan, have developed something that could change everything about how we generate AI content. A light-based AI image generator that uses millions of times less energy than traditional methods. Instead of using computer GPUs, this system digitally encodes data and transfers it to a laser beam, which instantly creates visuals in a single frame. We're talking about reducing energy consumption from hundreds of millions of joules to hundreds of joules. The system can produce everything from simple black and white objects to Van Gogh-style colorful paintings, with results quite similar to standard AI models. This technology could lead to ultra-low energy consumption for generative AI, particularly for devices like AI glasses where battery life is critical. Now, the energy consumption claims sound almost too good to be true. A million-fold improvement is extraordinary by any standard. I'd want to see independent verification of these numbers and understand the limitations. Often, breakthrough energy efficiency comes with trade-offs in speed, quality, or versatility. But if even partially accurate, this could address one of the biggest challenges in AI deployment: the massive energy requirements of current systems. UCLA engineers have also developed a wearable brain-computer interface that helps paralyzed patients control robots without surgery. This non-invasive system uses AI to interpret brain signals in real time through a camera-based system worn on the head. In trials, a participant with lower body paralysis was able to move 4 small blocks using a robotic arm in approximately 6.5 minutes, a task they previously couldn't perform without AI assistance. This represents a significant advance in making brain-computer interfaces accessible. Most existing systems require surgical implantation, which involves substantial risks and costs. A non-invasive alternative could help many more people. Harvard researchers have developed a complementary technology, a wearable robotic arm for stroke and ALS patients that assists with daily tasks like brushing teeth and eating. A patient living with ALS since 2018 experienced measurable improvement in quality of life using the device. These developments highlight how AI and robotics are moving beyond general-purpose applications to address specific human needs and disabilities. The University of Queensland breakthrough in growing fully functional human skin represents a leap in tissue engineering. This isn't just growing skin cells. They've created complete skin structure with blood vessels, pigments, hair follicles, immune cells, and multi-layered tissues. The process involves reprogramming human skin cells into stem cells, then directing them to differentiate into various skin components. These are grown into 3-dimensional mini-skin organoids that mimic real human skin, complete with a blood circulation-like system. The applications are staggering: stem cell therapies, organ production, tissue engineering, and potentially providing biological tissue for robots. This last application intrigues me. As robotics becomes more sophisticated, the boundary between artificial and biological systems continues to blur. Robot dogs are already being used at Zhejiang University in China to help students move belongings into dorms. The combination of advanced robotics with lab-grown biological tissue could lead to machines that are genuinely difficult to distinguish from living organisms. Anthropic is integrating its Claude AI into Google Chrome through a browser extension, allowing the AI to analyze web pages and assist with tasks like answering questions, adding items to shopping carts, or filling out forms. While convenient, there are security concerns. Anthropic claims to have reduced vulnerabilities from 23.6% to 11.2%. But any system that can interact with web pages on your behalf carries inherent risks. Higgsfield continues advancing AI creative tools, introducing features for visual effects, collaborations for amazing images, and even generating AI idols and K-pop artists. Their clay animation feature can generate visual animations in seconds that would normally take weeks. The democratization of content creation tools is remarkable, but it also raises questions about the value of traditional creative skills and the authenticity of AI-generated content. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment with your thoughts on whether AI-generated content should be labeled as such, and subscribe to the channel for more emerging technology analysis. Looking at these developments together, several larger trends emerge. First, the boundaries between digital and physical experiences are dissolving. Netflix houses represent just one example of digital brands creating physical touchpoints. Second, AI is becoming infrastructure rather than just software. The UCLA energy breakthrough suggests AI capabilities will eventually be embedded in everyday devices, rather than requiring cloud processing. Third, biotechnology and artificial intelligence are converging in ways that blur the distinction between artificial and biological systems. Lab-grown skin for robots isn't science fiction anymore. Fourth, the political and regulatory environment around AI is becoming a major factor in technological development. The $100 million PAC shows how seriously the industry takes policy influence. Based on these developments, here's my assessment of realistic timelines. Netflix houses will likely succeed or fail within 2 years based on visitor numbers and operational costs. Physical entertainment is unforgiving. If people don't show up consistently, these locations won't survive. The 2026 AI elections will indeed be crucial for determining regulatory approaches in the U.S. The outcome will significantly influence whether American AI development follows the European model of strict regulation or maintains a more permissive approach. Brain-computer interfaces for paralysis assistance will probably see limited deployment within 3 to 5 years, focused on specific medical applications rather than general consumer use. Lab-grown tissue for medical applications could reach clinical trials within 5 to 7 years, though regulatory approval will take longer. AI creative tools will continue improving rapidly, but questions about authenticity, copyright, and economic impact on creative industries will intensify. These advances also highlight significant challenges. energy consumption remains a critical issue, despite the UCLA breakthrough. Most current AI systems still require enormous computational resources. Security vulnerabilities in AI systems that can interact with real-world interfaces pose genuine risks. As AI becomes more capable and autonomous, the potential for misuse increases. The economic disruption from AI-powered creative tools could be substantial. When anyone can generate professional-quality animations in seconds, what happens to traditional animators and content creators? Regulatory approaches to AI will need to balance innovation with safety and public interest. The $100 million lobbying effort shows industry commitment to shaping these policies. We're entering what I call the integration era of technology development. Instead of developing digital, physical, and biological technologies separately, they're converging into hybrid systems. Netflix houses integrate digital content with physical experiences. Brain-computer interfaces integrate biological signals with artificial systems. Lab-grown skin could integrate with robotic bodies. AI creative tools integrate human creativity with artificial generation. This integration creates new possibilities, but also new complexities. Hybrid systems are harder to regulate, understand, and predict than purely digital or purely physical systems. The companies and researchers who master these integrations will likely define the next decade of technological development. The technologies we've discussed today aren't just incremental improvements to existing systems. They represent fundamental shifts in how we create content, interact with machines, treat medical conditions, and experience entertainment. Netflix's physical expansion shows how digital companies are thinking beyond screens. The UCLA energy breakthrough could make AI ubiquitous rather than cloud-dependent. Lab-grown tissue could blur the line between artificial and biological systems. Political mobilization shows the stakes involved in AI policy. But perhaps most importantly, these developments show how different fields of technology are converging. The future won't be just about better software or better hardware. It'll be about better integration between digital, physical, and biological systems. Whether this convergence leads to remarkable human enhancement or significant societal disruption depends largely on how thoughtfully we manage the transition. The political battle over AI regulation, the security challenges of autonomous systems, and the economic impact of creative AI all need serious attention. The technologies are advancing faster than our social, legal, and ethical frameworks can adapt. That's both exciting and concerning. One thing is certain: the next 5 years will reshape fundamental assumptions about the boundaries between artificial and natural, digital and physical, virtual and real. The question isn't whether these changes are coming, but whether we'll be ready for them.